So the owl of Bohemia is not Moloch, right? But it is part of an ancient Babylon religion.
Sure.
And the important thing to note is that the controlled opposition to us just simply try to find out information about the grove will always say, oh, well, Alex Jones put out The Secrets of Bohemian Grove. He talks about the Owl of Moloch. And what, is he just the only spokesperson for truth? I mean, come on. You know, he was just one cat that got in here and did a filming, right? So if he made a mistake about the Owl of Moloch, okay, so, you know,
Nathan.
so he made a mistake about the Owl of Moloch. But why repeat that over and over, year after year after year after year? These people think that it's the Owl of Moloch or it's the idol of Moloch. Well, it's because they want to keep on perpetuating the fact that people don't know what they're talking about. So what we do is we get out and we research what the owl is, or we research, like Greg, your new pamphlet book on what is it called, Dual Care, on Bohemian Grove. You know, you go out and do the research, and then so sure enough, then you have all this information about the rituals and the history of Bohemian Grove and who's attended, and there you go. And then it's fact after that. You know, and the fact that it's a Babylonian ritual means that there's some truth to what the Babylonians used to do, and there's some pretty bad stuff that's come out of Babylon.
Couldn't it just be a coincidence that, you know, they're sacrificing care here in a play, and a coincidence that, you know?
The coincidence is not that they're similar. What it is that
the bottles.
The rituals today are toned down, kind of like Halloween is toned down from trick or treat. Because what trick or treat used to be putting a pumpkin on your porch, you know, in respect to the Druids, whether or not, you know, you're going to be able to sacrifice your daughter or not, you know, to the Druids, right? And these are all, you know, pagan rituals. And it's kind of like, so are you suggesting that when my kids go out and they dress up in whatever, you know, Superman outfits or Spider-Man or something like that they're in, and they go do trick-or-treat, and we have a harvest festival, or we go to church, or just down the road to somebody putting on a Halloween party or something like that, does that mean we are actually sacrificing our daughter to the Druids? Well, no, I don't even have a daughter.
So it's kind of like having a Christmas tree. Like I was told, if I have a Christmas tree, then I'm a pagan. I'm glorifying pagan
and
worship.
All of this comes around. So Christmas trees are pagan.
But I'm not a pagan.
Exactly.
Yet
so
I have one. So
are we capable of having a Christmas tree
without being a pagan
and decorate it up? So
no.
If you look at the original story of the Christmas tree, you'll find that Christian faith man, he cut down his Christmas tree. He cut down a tree.
Okay.
And he knew it was a pagan symbol.
To cut down the tree.
He cut the tree down and he made it into...
How's it going, man? All right.
A Christmas symbol for his family to celebrate Christmas, which is a Christian tradition.
Okay.
Okay? And then what he did then is he decorated it and used the gifts because of the gifts given to Christ, and he basically turned around the Christmas tree tradition from a pagan symbol to a Christian symbol.
Okay.
Okay? Didn't Hitler do the same thing? Hitler took a symbol of the swastika and took it from an ancient symbol and turned it into his symbol because he liked it. So symbols are always converted and used. You know, and by that same very principle, is the CBSI mean an Illuminati, or is it just because somebody liked it?
Good question. It's a good question.
I'm not going to blame CBS for being an Illuminati because they have the eye on their symbol, but they do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And it's an all-seeing eye, so I don't know.
It's a very good question. Very valid, I would think.
It's just questions, all right?
It's questions. Yeah. Yeah. You're not saying that everybody who puts on a Halloween costume is a
Right.
Satanist out there.
And then the fact
worshiping
that they
the
have
devil.
cremation and care, that doesn't mean they're sacrificing little girls.
And
Today,
and
you know.
does it mean the people that are watching it, that everybody watches it, just because they're watching it, doesn't mean that they necessarily think that it's a good thing.
There, guaranteed, is going to be people out there and groups out there that believe in these rituals, that believe in them.
Okay.
And so what they do is they see this happening and they go, you know something, I agree with that. That's all. It reminds me of stories of, you can go back in the news articles about kings and queens and their castles in England, and about how the local police and the local jurisdictions will find all these bodies buried under their properties. It's just public news. All you have to do is search for it. Years and years back, I mean, hundreds of years back to current day. And you find out that these kings and queens and nobilities, and they just love killing kids because it's part of puberty and it's part of, getting the energy from the sacrifice. And this is the whole thing where I don't know, what is it, the Golden Child, right?
Steal their
From the
essence.
80s, the movie with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Golden Child, about sacrificing the boy because it would bring the energy for the demon and everything. That's real stuff. So you start talking about that and you're like, oh, that's a movie, that's from the Golden Child. It's like, well, yeah, but
Where did they get that?
devil worship is real, people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so we have groups up here in Monte Rio that are like, oh no, there's nothing like that happening. There's no, Monte Rio Bohemian Grove sacrifices happening. And it's like, okay.
They're not even open to
Maybe
to
they're
the
not. Maybe the
possibility.
last 10 years, maybe the last 20 years of the Grove, maybe there aren't actual, like, during the public rituals, well, public to the people that are in there. Maybe they're not sacrificing little girls right in front of everybody. Okay. But those rituals came from somewhere.
Yeah.
And all I'm suggesting is that we believe that that's capable of happening. That people really are capable of believing that the energy from these young kids can energize them, or energize the evil spirits or evil demons, or if you want to call them, fallen angels, or whatever else you want to call.
Yeah.
Now that fast, that is really, really dangerous speed coming into the Grove there. That's hilarious. I am standing in the middle of the road, though, so bad on me. But yeah, it's like that sheriff's gonna come over and get out of the damn road.
No, he's not gonna come on. He doesn't
Whatever.
want to talk to us.
So,
I wish you would.
Yeah, he hasn't budged all day.
No.
so my answer to those people that say, "Oh, those crazy nut jobs, they believe in all these crazy things about Bohemian Grove," it's like, well, why shouldn't you believe that evil exists out in the world? These are not just so-called Republican conservatives that are out here fracking for their own benefit. That's not the only reason. They're there for money, power, and control. And if fracking makes them a bunch of money, like the Koch brothers or whatever, they're going to do whatever makes them the most money. I don't agree with fracking putting chemicals into the water either. So just because I might think a certain way, I don't think the way the Koch brothers think.
Right. But they'll put you into that.
They'll put me into that box.
Yeah.
I eventually get put into a box, or anybody you get put into a box because you think differently.
Yeah.
And I'm just here to say that it's not true. There's no box that we should be placed into, because the Koch brothers are not conservatives. I mean, for God's sakes, their family was, funding the Nazis, and the Bush family was funding the Nazis.
It doesn't sound conservative to me.
And there's nothing conservative about that. There's, the Republican Party is, anyways, they got all kinds of problems, obviously. The Republican leadership is all about, gay hookers and all kinds of crazy stuff, right?
Yep.
That's all in the news. I don't even have to go into it. They just have to look just a little tiny bit and see a bunch of this. People who are part of the whole missing and exploited children's organization. Some of the top leadership have been outed with child pornography. That's a really popular news story, actually. There's Child and Protective Services, what's usually considered CPS or whatever, nationwide. You find CPS departments all throughout the nation, even recently in Florida, I guess, right? Is there some news stories coming out of Florida about how they'll find all these kids have been, like, quote, missing, and then they find a bunch of kids dead. And then, other news stories comes out about how, some kid died in the hands of the CPS, and then nobody ever gets busted. There's a famous news story out of Texas where the, what do they call them? The Texas Rangers, I guess?
Yeah.
The Texas Rangers did a whole story on CPS. And I guess the Texas Rangers are badass because they were able to not be persuaded, I guess, by other government agencies, and they were able to complete their investigation. Just look up Texas Rangers child kidnapping CPS investigation or something like that, and then it'll come up.
All right.
And it's like, yeah, bad things do happen. There's definitely portions that not only start at the Grove, you have the rich and powerful that, and I say rich and powerful, I mean just those people who would purport to be our leaders, or even guys like Zuckerberg, with his Facebook, where he's like, well, I'm going to lead the pack and show people how to use social media, and I'm going to, what? Dude, man, I don't need you to be my leader. Just give me a computer platform that I could use, and I can pay for my advertisement. And you want to display ads to me? Well, that's fair enough because that's how you pay for your site. But don't think like you're some leader. Maybe you're a leader in industry. I'm a leader of industry. I'm a leader of social networking. Fair enough, because you obviously were able to create a platform for people to talk about. I got the finger?
Yeah, we got the finger.
Nice.
First finger of the day.
That's the first finger of the day, huh? And this must be a busy time.
I think, yeah, there
They're
must
coming
be,
back.
Maybe employees that are being picked up or something, huh?
be lunch, could be, yeah, could be.
But yeah. So I think there's a lot of sheep out there. I think there's a lot of people that will just simply follow the mainstream. Everybody's using Pokemon, so let's go use Pokemon.
Hey, I wonder if they have Pokemon in the Grove there.
In the Grove, right? Maybe they got some
can see
Pokemon
them.
characters in the Grove, right? I think about it a different way. If Pokemon has been given to us on the cell phones because it's a new game, how is it any different than Minecraft or Angry Birds or anything like that, right? It's a game, so use it as a game, but just know what you're doing. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
If you're interested in a game, go use a game. I mean, it's like Monopoly. Maybe they can create a augmented reality version of Monopoly.
Don't say that.
So you can go out
Give them any ideas.
and do your tokens in real time.
Oh, man.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Because Pokemon, at least it makes people get out of their damn houses, right?
I guess. They're still on their phones.
My kids asked me about Pokemon. I says, Dad, can I download Pokemon? I said, well, what are you going to do with it, right? To get you out of the house. Been trying to kick you out of the house, I guess.
That's one
Get,
way.
get your butts out and go do something, right? Maybe I'll go out and do Pokemon. I get some exercise out of it. No, maybe it's a good thing.
Maybe we should have did Pokemon right here.
I just,
That was
just saying, man. Just do something with your life so you're out there, and I don't know, man. I previously, we've done actions talking about big mainstream department stores, right? Have we done that before? Like, why are people going to shop at Forever 21.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all of this crap that's made in China. And or the Gap even doesn't all their stuff. I actually went into a Gap and none of their stuff was like from the U.S.
It's all China.
It's all foreign goods, right?
Like Thailand or something.
I still have the same opinion of it. I think that we need to have more manufacturing, and God forbid I bring Trump into the situation, but you know, at least he talks about bringing, you know, making America great again. And
Well, Obama talked about that. So
even Obama talked
hope
about
and
it.
change, right?
Hope and change, right? So there's a lot of talk about it, but the question is it actually being done?
Probably not.
And I think that for those people who work at those stores, those chains, the the big commercial outlets
That's
that
the guy that growled at us last year.
You did.
What did-
Roar.
He growled
did he
at
really?
us.
Yeah.
Oh.
You went roar.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's just being funny though,
Yeah.
right? Probably, yeah.
He was pretty serious. So
Yeah, it was a there's intent in that, bro.
well, he was like he was posted over there pacing back and forth at the end of the street, and finally he had to walk past us, and he wasn't very happy. Anyway, the growler.
Big crowd.
What I say is it's important for people to know what they're buying, I guess my point is. So I've had previous campaigns where we've gone out to San Francisco, Westfield Mall and stuff like that, and we've simply asked people, why are you buying stuff? Do you need it? Do I need a lot of the stuff that I have, quite frankly?
I need everything.
Right?
I need everything I have and everything you have. I need it all. I need to have it. I should own everything.
Just ask people why do they need what they get, you know? I mean, when was the last time I bought a pair of I did just buy a pair of jeans in Las Vegas because my old ones had they got holes in them and ripped.
Oh boy.
So I had to go buy a new pair of jeans. But do you have to buy a new pair of jeans every week?
No.
You have to buy women, God forsakes, you want to have a lot of shoes. All right. How many do you need?
How many is enough?
For what reasons? You
For
want
what
one
reason?
one for every dress? Or do you need two pairs for every dress because you want to have different accessories?
Good point.
All right, fair enough. But at least pick and choose what you have, right?
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't buy it.
Everything
I
in
try not to buy it.
moderation.
Yeah, moderation.
I think moderation is important.
Yeah.
I get scared at malls because there's so much advertising coming at me.
Is that what it is? Because I used to love going to malls as a kid. Now
Absolutely, right?
Now I hate it.
When
I dread
when
it.
I go into a mall now, not all the time because now I try to actually get myself into malls every once in a while. But when I went back into a mall for the first time, I hadn't gone for a couple of years. I was like not shaking, but it was kind of like aware of like all of the programming coming at me. So then, and once you go back into it and you keep on going back into it, then it kind of your alert level goes down, and that's a bad thing
Okay.
because then you're not on alert. And the more and more you go onto a mall and the more and more you buy stuff, then you kind of get programmed into it.
Becomes just second nature for you.
So I don't know if we want to talk about that kind of stuff at the Grove. I think it's all about programming. It's all about what they can do and cook up that will get us to follow what they're doing. Zuckerberg wants to have his new plans. He got to figure out how to get people to buy into them, right?
So that's what the Lakeside Chats. That's where the Lakeside Chats might be very useful.
That's right. It seems that the Lakeside Chats are basically talking to people and saying this is what we want to do.
Consensus building.
Consensus building. There you go. What's all the new stuff coming out? News stories about Fox News. Just look up Fox News RFID chips. What were you thinking?
You
I
got a
was
lot of
thinking,
shade on your. I'm gonna move this.
Sexual
way now.
harassment. Roger Ailes' story.
Sexual? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Sad.
So I guess it's going to be maybe on the top of the news list now is going to be talking about how taking the RFID chip for buying and selling and trading of goods is now going to be something that'll start popping up into our news cycle.
Oh, okay.
Because it's already a popular thing for clubs and stuff, and that's been going on for years. So yeah, that's just taken a little bit too far. And obviously, you know, credit cards already have chips in them. Well, a lot of them do.
Mm-hmm.
All it's doing is preparing you. It's like, what's the next step? How much easier is it to say, you know, you got that chip in your card,
It takes.
and all we
longer.
have to do now is you just have to come into a facility and get a chip in your hand, and all you have to do is wave your hand across the cash register, and you can instantly buy or sell or do anything that you want, and all commerce can be done through the chip. Really? Okay. Where did I hear that before?
Yep, definitely break time. Where are they all going?
They send them all home, I think, so that all of you guys can go out and do their what they're going to do their lakeside towns, right? Information and Carol's going to happen.
It might.
Love this job. Love
Ladies,
this
hit me
job.
up on my Instagram and Snapchat.
Stan Lee, 2 underscores, 4 S, 4 E's, 4 E's.
4 E's.
I'm gonna get like 1,000 followers now.
His name is Stanley.
Stress.
You guys are sharp. Should have gave him a book.
What's that?
Should have gave them a couple books.
Oh yeah. I try to hand some stuff to people, and hardly anybody takes it. I guess
It's okay.
maybe that one guy that stopped by, I should have given him a book. I guess.
Oh yeah. I was gonna actually leave one by the gate, but I thought they might get me for loitering
Oh,
or
yeah.
something. I guess not loitering, littering. Oh, there's a
That
white
is
witch.
a limo driver again. All these black TCP numbers that come in
TCP. Yeah.
are all the big, heavy-duty luxury SUVs. I guess you might want to call them.
Taking care of pedophiles.
One day at a time.